Carbon dioxide tolerance. Why does it matter? So carbon dioxide kind of used to get a bit of a bad rap, or maybe you were taught in anatomy and physiology that carbon dioxide is just a waste gas. And it turns out carbon dioxide is far more than just a waste gas. Carbon dioxide is a smooth muscle relaxer, and it plays an absolute pivotal role in terms of your cardiovascular health and your stomach health. Okay, so primarily your stomach is smooth muscle. So carbon dioxide levels in your bloodstream help dictate the health of your stomach and intestines. So carbon dioxide levels in your bloodstream really help dictate the function and health of your digestive system. So it's not just a waste gas. Now the important thing about this is it's all about carbon dioxide tolerance. So what does carbon dioxide tolerance mean? Well, the primary driver of you taking your next breath, or if you're holding your breath to breathe in again, is a buildup of carbon dioxide. So we have three sort of primary stimuluses of breathing. One is the most important, the most frequent, and the first to sort of hit you is carbon dioxide. Next is the rhythm center. So we have a rhythm center that drives the rhythm of our breathing. And one of the reasons we try to breathe slowly or slow down our breathing a couple of times a day is to help reset that rhythm center. And then lastly is oxygen depletion. So if we do level up or resilience breathing, which is basically a controlled inhale, a long drawn out hold, a long controlled exhale with a recovery period, the primary driver for you wanting to breathe more is just the buildup of carbon dioxide. It's not a decrease in oxygen. In fact, I've worn a pulse oximeter during breath holding and measured my peripheral oxygen saturation. It actually increases through the breath holding because, again, carbon dioxide is a smooth muscle relaxer and it increases the size of your small arteries. And so often as your carbon dioxide levels build up to a healthy level and your blood vessels dilate, and it can be really helpful for extremity injuries like plantar fasciitis and dupuytren's contracture. So how do we end up with a low carbon dioxide tolerance? Well, often with mouth breathing, or if we're anxious, or if we hold our breath, if we sit a lot and have a tight diaphragm, if we breathe too frequently and shallowly, we flush out our carbon dioxide levels, and then your brain just gets used to a low level of carbon dioxide. And this can be really coupled with sort of a sense of anxiety or restlessness or nervousness, okay? So what I like to imagine it as is like a smoke detector that's too sensitive. So when you try and fry an egg, the smoke alarm goes off. Okay, that's inappropriate. So that's carbon dioxide. We want the sensors in our brain, when it senses carbon dioxide, to be robust enough that it's actually a strong buildup of carbon dioxide that's triggering our next breath, not a very slight rise in carbon dioxide. And remember, carbon dioxide is really interesting because it's a molecule that bypasses your fear center. So people that cannot experience fear on any level, if you take a deep breath in of carbon dioxide, will experience raw terror. So carbon dioxide is a very, very strong driver of breathing. So other things that can cause carbon dioxide sensitivity would be chronically stressed lifestyle, stimulants or too much caffeine. We've discussed mouth breathing, exercising and holding your breath, being sedentary, not actually breathing enough and getting out there. There's quite a few reasons why. And like I say, I think in the day of modern screens and Zoom calls and talking, excessive talking without recovery, which is something that I experience every now and again. But for all of us, we basically need to have some sort of breath hygiene. And I think of it, I try and explain it to people, it's like brushing your teeth. It's just smart in the modern world to gently work on a healthy breathing practice. Okay, so here's some helpful ways of increasing your carbon dioxide tolerance. So one of my favorite ways to do it is just to hum. So we're gently slowing the exhales, and this can be unguided. The humming is very useful. It increases your vagal tone, so your parasympathetic response, which helps calm you down. And it also helps produce nitric oxide, which again is a bronchodilator and helps your breathing become more efficient. So you're kind of killing a few birds with one stone, is the saying, I think. So that would be simply breathing in and gently humming out. Now the other magic of the humming is it gives you auditory feedback, so it keeps you on task. So I'll often do this when I'm doing chores, or let's say I'm making ropes. I'll breathe in, hum on the way out, or breathe in and hum on the way out. I very frequently do this when I'm driving, because often driving, you're sitting, your diaphragm's squished up, you might be a little bit tense. That's a great way to soften and relax and work on, and you sort of probably alone in the car. So it's a great time to work on humming, and it slows your exhales. There's a thing called 365 breathing. So 3 times a day, slow your breathing down to 6 breaths per minute and do that for 5 minutes at a time. And I think that's pretty close to the mark. So on the Aeri app, You can use the resonance breathing or cadence breathing, and that'll be 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. I kind of prefer 5 seconds in and 7 seconds out, slightly extending that exhale. And you can set a timer so it makes sure that you get your work done. Or you can freeform it with humming. If you want to go a little bit deeper, we have the level up or resilience breathing on the Aeri app, and that's a slow controlled inhale, then a breath hold, and then a slow controlled exhale with a recovery period in between. And the dose of doing breath hold work in order to change your CO₂ levels is quite a lot. So you need to do at least 15 to 20 minute sessions of breath hold work. Otherwise, it's not really going to take hold. You can freeform that. So I can just simply take a long, slow breath in, hold it for as long as I'm comfortable with, slowly see how long I can exhale and hold the exhale, have the 2 breath recovery, and then just repeat. It's what I do in the sauna. It can be remarkably effective. It also helps you pass the time, sort of center yourself, calm yourself. And also you can just freeform breath hold. So you can just basically lie down in a safe, comfortable space, put a timer on. Again, then take a deep breath in, breathe out, hold your breath. And as soon as you have a strong urge to breathe or we have any involuntary contractions, breathe in, recover for 3 or 4 breaths and go again. So it'll look something like breathing in, breathe out, hold your breath. If I feel any sort of strong urge to breathe or contraction, I'll breathe in again through the nose. This is all in and out through the nose. Recover 1 or 2, 3 or 4 breaths, and then take a deep breath in, breathe out, and then hold. So you're holding on the exhale. When you breathe out, you produce more carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide tolerance training is best done breathe out or with long, slow exhales. Okay, so that's pretty much methods of increasing your carbon dioxide tolerance. Another one is to slow your breathing down when you're running or walking. So when you're running, you can focus on exhaling more, which is what I typically do. So I'll breathe in for 3 steps, and then I'll notice how many steps I'm breathing out for. Let's say it's 3, I'll try and stretch that to 4, then 5, then 6. And often on an easy run, my breathing, I'll slow it down to 5 steps in, 7 breaths out, 7 steps out. So often on an easy run, I'll slow my breathing rate down to 5 steps in and 7 steps out. What should you experience as your carbon dioxide tolerance improves? Well, you should notice less breathfulness. I think a lot of it's got to do with your mental and emotional state. You should feel more calmer when stressful situations happen around you. Remember, this is also part of doing hard things. It's slightly uncomfortable when you're holding your breath and building up your carbon dioxide tolerance. When we do our breathing class in the community in resilience breathing, I strongly urge people to not concentrate on the discomfort of holding your breath or slowing your breathing down, but to concentrate on visualizations or mantras. But generally get the feedback that people find that previous situations that stressed them out, or they had a sense of anxiety, or then they felt more calm and in control and secure. It can really help with your breathing rate. So if you monitor your breathing rate with an Aura ring or with a Whoop, you might find that you take fewer breaths per minute when you sleep at night, and overall your well-being, your health, like I say, your extremity circulation should improve. So you can often find that your running or cycling efficiency improves. So there's a lot of upside to having a healthy CO₂ tolerance. So don't go after it too hard, just try and work on it gently and softly. And remember, carbon dioxide tolerance works with moving with your breath. Okay, if you move against your breath, or if you have really restricted breathing or poor breathing patterns, or if you're not nose breathing when you sleep at night, it's very, very difficult to improve your carbon dioxide tolerance. So this is a cohesive package. Make sure that you create a sort of sense of synergy between your movement, your breath, your sleep, and the way you live. And it's very then easy to have a healthy carbon dioxide tolerance. So stick around. Tomorrow we're going to talk about altitude training and breathing.